Baby dumping remains a burning social issue that needs to come under scrutiny by government and the society. Over the years and in present time, babies are being dumped and discarded in most horrific of places all over the country, with many dying tragic deaths within hours of being born. Babies have been flushed down toilets, choked in garbage bins, discarded at playgrounds, dumped in bushes, and disposed of at bus stops. What could possibly drive an individual to harm an innocent, defenseless baby or infant? Let me put it that way. What could cause someone abandon all sense of compassion and morality? What could cause an individual to mutilate, discard, or kill their own flesh and blood? The program is Turn Up, a program that seeks to empower women and the girl child. We'll be right back. I'm Kondi Maureen, and I'm excited to be with you on another edition of the program Turn Up on Canal The English, a program that seeks to empower women and the girl child. And today we are talking about baby dumping. It's a topic that we started last week, but today we continue with the topic, knowing how important this issue is in society. And it's an issue that is a phenomenon that is on the rise in Cameroon, in Africa, and elsewhere around the world. We continue to talk about baby dumping, and today we have women we have invited. We have somebody from the social center. We have somebody who has an NGO, or have a barrister at law who is going to be telling us about the legal implications of baby dumping. We have so many women out there who continue to dispose or discard of their babies without knowing the legal implications. We'll be right back after the jingle. If you want to participate on today's program, you can write to us on the number you're seeing on your TV screen. We want just SMS. We don't want phone calls. We are not going to receive any phone calls in today's program. Usually we have people call us to participate on the program, but we don't want that. You can send your reactions on the number you're seeing on the TV screens. I'll make sure that we read your reactions or messages you send to us in this program. And now I will want you to know who our guests are. Like I told you, they are all beautiful inmates. They are all women, and they are here to share their experience, their opinion about this important topic, baby dumping. We will start with the person that is very close to me. She's called Clarice Ndinge. Did I pronounce your name well?
Yes, you did.
Now, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
This is the first time?
Yes, this is the first
Now, how was your day?
It was good. It was good.
Now, I love the smile. Now, you are the founder of Better Girls Organization.
Yes.
Now, what's it all about?
So, Better Girls Organization is a platform meant to inspire girls and educate them, especially in the area of mentorship. Because I feel like many girls do what they do, especially, like this kind of activities, dumping babies and stuff, because they don't have people that they can turn to who can mentor them and tell them that, okay, this is what you should have done, this is what you should do if you find yourself in this kind of situation.
Now, we equally have somebody from the social center. She's going to be telling us the role of a social center, because we're talking about a baby dumping. I know we have most of these babies, they end up in this social center. Now, we'd like to know you, but it's a regular face on the program. She's called Ahone Cecilia. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, how was your day like today?
Because
I know in the center like yours, it's always a very hectic day.
Of course, we're used to, so it's part of our life. So we enjoy every moment at the center. It was a wonderful day.
Now, what particular issue did you handle today?
Well, actually, I had a case concerning couples as conjugal matters, which is still in the process, not yet resolved, because it's not a day's activities. It takes a week or two to resolve their differences. Yeah, so that's what I handled today.
All right, I'll begin with Clarice Ndinge, since we're talking about Better Girls. Now, we're talking about, I want us to link it to baby dumping. Now, when you hear of that, what comes to your mind?
When I hear about baby dumping, I think about irresponsibility, I think about frustration, I think about ignorance, I think about illiteracy. Because I feel like those are the elements that will cause any girl to think that she has the right to dump a child. Because I don't understand how you carry a baby for 9 months and then you feel like upon going through all the stress, the maternity issues and stuff, you feel like it's right for you to dump a child. Either you are not educated, or you are irresponsible, or you are frustrated, or you just don't know what to do about the thing. And you think that that's the best way for you to go about
Do you
it.
think there are enough reasons for a girl to dump her baby? She's frustrated, her man has abandoned her, or the boyfriend has abandoned her, and she does not have enough means to take care of the child. Is it enough reason?
It's not enough
The
reason.
only thing she could dump, she could
There are
keep the
many-
baby elsewhere, go to
Exactly.
a social center.
And yeah, you can even give up the child for adoption. You can take the child to your village. I'm sure there are people, grandmothers, who will be willing to raise a baby and stuff like that. So I just feel like those are the things that we really need to educate young girls on, because when people go through ills in life and they feel like there's nothing they can do about it, they just give up and they don't think that there's a solution. You don't think that there's something I can do about it. So some girls find themselves in that situation and they feel like there's nothing I can do. The only thing I can do now is to just
Is it
dispose of
that they
this
don't
child.
share their problems with other
That's one
people, or
thing
they
I
keep the
feel like-
problems to themselves?
Exactly.
And they think the best way is just to like discard of the baby?
That's another thing. They don't share their problems, and because I think that they don't know how to go about it, and they don't even know who to share their problems with. So they just do what they feel they have to do to survive. Meanwhile, that's not the best option.
Now, can we say it's ignorant? Can we blame?
Yeah.
Can we say it's ignorant part of it?
Of course, and because she rightly said they don't want to share their problems. People think that if you're pregnant, you can clear off evidence. It's something, a baby is first-hand information to show that you are involved in one or two activities. So if you want to like keep that information out of the society you decide to discard of, because if you look at the way girls do abandon, when you abandon, it means there's no trace. You just leave the child somewhere, nobody knows. You don't have any attachment with that child, so they can hold you as being the mother of the child, which means you are running away from something. You don't want the society to know that you've ever had a child. But it's the worst thing to do. It means you are mentally derailed, because that is first-hand crime. I'm sorry, I think.
Now, I want to tell a
Barrister
story
will
of
come
a
in and tell
woman
us the
of a
effect.
woman here in the city of Douala. Just I got in contact with her, but she could not come today. She had a baby. Now she's going around talking to people, telling people what God is saying, and telling people not to go against the Bible. And she's preaching to people because she had a baby at that early age, and she said because of poverty she had to bury the baby alive. She's in Douala. I'm sure she's going to come here and make her confession, or because we are out to sensitize women. Now I want to ask you, Clarice, have you come across girls who have been victims since you run an organization? Have they come to you?
No girl has approached us for having a baby and dumping. No, we have not recorded any story like that so far. We have not. But I think that, as you said, it's just an issue of sensitizing people and educating people. I just think that we who are in the business of educating girls and trying to sensitize them, we should look for ways to reach out to girls, especially in rural areas, because I'm sure that's where most of this.
So you think it's more frequent in rural areas?
in the urban
Maybe
cities,
I'm
the
seeing she's
social-
just like she does not agree with you.
Yes.
I think, in our rural areas, there's a lot of fraternity. There's
Exactly. You're right.
harmony. If you are found in a situation like that, there's one grandmother or an auntie who will be willing to take that child,
It's true.
like his or her child, and raise it for you. So I don't think it's high in the rural areas. In
It's
the
higher
urban
here.
area, life is tough. So you find yourself making a baby you cannot take care. Of course, you're forced to abandon. And it's also out of ignorance. You don't know that there are many ways you can you can
Go about it.
place that child and tomorrow go back and collect the child.
We're going to be talking
Identify
about those
yourself.
ways because you're here to tell us about the role of the social system and what those young girls could do when they're in that situation. Now, if you find a young girl in that situation, come to you and say, I'm pregnant, I don't know what to do, it's like I have intentions to, because I've had a young girl come to me, I don't want the baby. She's 5 months old, she's 6 months into the pregnancy. She does not want the baby since the boyfriend said he does not want her anymore. And she discovered that the boyfriend had 2 other girls that were pregnant for him. And she said, well, why should I keep the baby of the boyfriend? It's not normal. So in that situation, how do you handle? What do you tell the girl?
I'll tell the girl that she should keep the baby and have the baby.
Why?
Because a child is a gift. In every way, a child is a gift. There's no useless person. There's no useless. God does not create anything that's useless. So if you have a child, if there's a child in your womb, raise the child. Good people raise children. It doesn't have to be a responsible man. It doesn't have to be a man and a woman. Women have raised children. Men have raised children. So if you are single, you can raise a child, and you don't know what that child is going to be to you tomorrow. There are many women today who don't have children because they had pregnancies before that, they aborted and stuff. So I'll advise the girl to keep the baby.
And the lady that dumped or buried the baby alive, she does not have a baby today. You wanted to react to that?
I think we used to say there's
It's difficult. They have to say it out.
I want to talk about nemesis. Yeah, whatever we do, we are adults, and if you do such a thing, of course, nemesis will follow you. God gives you, as she rightly said, a child is a gift from God. And whatever condition, because if you decide to meet a man, you should expect something. There should be a result, and know you are supposed to assume the consequences. Why should you or not bring up, you've already carried the child for 9 months, and you decide to bury the child because of hardship? Why not give it to the next person? There are many women who don't have children, and they are willing to take care of children out there, but they want their own children, or if at all, they decide to adopt the child. But in Cameroon, because of a lot of bottlenecks, the procedures are very, frustrating.
Well, when you talk about the procedure, but now, don't you think these girls are like afraid because the tendency is that let me carry the baby and just dump the baby somewhere? She's afraid to die. She thinks if she abort the baby, the pregnancy, she might die. She prefers to put to birth and then spare her own life, then kill the baby. Do you think, can we take it that way?
I think some people reason like that. Some people actually reason like that. They feel like, well, let me just stay. And sometimes it could be that they have actually tried to abort it and the baby did not come out. So they just wait till the 9 months and then have the child and then dump the child. But the innocence of a little child, for anybody to have the mind and to deliberately take a child and kill the child, I don't think that person. There should be something deeper. Something should be wrong with you in a deeper sense for you to feel like it is correct for you to take a child and kill, or to dispose of a human being and let, because a baby is innocent. When you look at a baby's face, a baby that is crying, and you see a baby crying, and you feel like it's right for you to take the baby and go and keep. So I feel like girls who do those kind of things, they need some psychological, like attention or counseling, because it's deeper. It means that they have real issues that are even deeper than the baby.
That will push you to kill the baby. Now, yes. I had messages last week that girls told me that if you're raped, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, the truth is, the president of a nation, you don't know who that person will be in the So whether you are raped or not, whatever comes out of the rape, you must assume it's not you are not you did not plan it. So we don't know who the president of our country will be tomorrow. That's why they are discouraging abortion and even dumping of children, because you don't know what they will become tomorrow. It's not in our position to decide to do away with the life of a child or an unborn child. So why not, if God accepted that child to come into the world, why not give it the chance to grow, and let's see what that child becomes, whether the first astronomist or the president of our country. So I believe that it's not our responsibility to do it.
I feel like in a case of rape, girls usually think that, and it comes back to the aspect of education and sharing your problem with people, because if you get raped and you are thinking, oh, if I keep this child and I give birth to the child will be a rapist, the child will be like the father. Not necessarily. I believe that children.
But at first sight, will you accept it? Let me just.
Yes, I will. At the end of the day, it's just about being confident in who you are and your purpose on earth. Because if you have confidence in who you are and what you are meant to do on earth, you will see that as one of the challenges that has come your way as a human being on this earth. Many people go through different kinds of challenges. People have accidents, they lost some of their limbs. Look at it as one of those things that has happened to you in your lifetime, and deal with it like a challenge. Don't deal with it, and be thinking, no, this thing is difficult, I should do away with this child because it is a rapist, because the father was a rapist, the child will be a rapist. No, it is the way you raise the child that the child is going to grow up to be. If you raise the child well, the child will be a good child. So I just feel like people should look at these things. Anything that happens to you, nobody's saying that bad things should happen to people, but if something happens to you, look at it like a challenge, like every other challenge that comes your way. If you lose your job, do you kill yourself? No, you look for another job. So if somebody rapes you, you take care of the child. It is a challenge that came with it. So that's how I see
All right,
it.
you wanted to react? You want to say something?
Well, I'm saying I'm just reacting in line with what she's saying. We should be confident of who we are and deal with whatever situation we find ourselves. Raping, you did not plan for it, but if it happens as it happens, you pick the bits and pieces and move on. If a child comes out of, not all rape cases resolve to pregnancy.
Or if it was a disease.
Yeah, imagine if you contacted HIV.
Would you kill yourself?
Let's say healthy pregnancy is better than a disease.
Than a disease. So I think carry it for 9 months. You just have to rely on divine providence, because we don't know how we ourselves are surviving, and we always keep that aside. But it's very important in everything you do. If you don't put God first, don't be sure to make it. So I believe that if it's a rape case, God will help you to raise this child. Maybe that child will be the best child amongst the children you will ever have on this earth. So why should you decide? It's all about Him, and if you succeed, it's for His glory. So it's not your place to take away a child because it came out of rape.
Now, we're talking about sensitization here. Now, what is the role of your organization? What have they been doing to sensitize young girls? What do you tell them?
So we usually
Especially
tell
these girls that get pregnant at that early stage, they're teenagers. What do you tell them?
Okay, so we have done 2 events. The first event was to young girls aged below 16 years old. We were telling them, sensitizing them against unwanted pregnancies and premarital sex and the effects of premarital sex and how it can lead to unwanted pregnancies. So we were educating them on that, letting them know that as a young child, you're in school, concentrate on this. There's going to be a time when you're going to be an adult enough to think about, to engage in sexual activities. But for now, concentrate on your books, because if you get pregnant, this might happen. So, and those are the things we tell young girls, and we let them know that if something happens to you and you don't have anybody to talk to, you talk to us, because if you talk to us, you can, issue your problems to the right channel. We could take it to the social services, the women's department. Like, we can usher your problem, take care of your problem the right way. So we are more of giving girls an opportunity to know that they are not alone. No matter what it is that you're going through, we will not judge you. Come to us and we will help you.
A problem shared is a problem. It's a problem solved.
Exactly.
Now, because you talk about talking to this girl, try to channel the problems to different social services or to Ministry of Women Empowerment and the family. Have you had particular cases that you've handled?
No, none so far.
Not so far.
Most of the cases we have had, it has been at the level of advice. They just need a counseling.
Okay.
Like, okay, I'm going through this situation. Maybe this boy is treating me like this. What should I do? Or
they have boyfriends already at the age of 16. These are
They have boyfriends.
girls below 15.
Yes,
they have
some of them have
boyfriends already,
boyfriends,
and they
yes.
have problems with these boyfriends.
Yes.
And of course, yeah.
Yeah, so they come to us and they're like, okay, what should I do? He's putting pressure on me. Is it okay? Should I have sex now? Those
and
kind
the
of
guy
questions.
is telling.
Yes. The guy is telling me to have sex with him. Should I have sex with him? So we make them to understand that where they are in their lives is a very, 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 very delicate stage where they can actually, or the way they can either ruin their lives or they go ahead with their lives. And most of the girls we deal with are in the southwest. And with the political situation, most of them have not been going to school. So the fact that they are not going to school, they are idle. They sit at home and they really don't have anything to do. So we encourage them to, get involved in many other things. As a girl, there are many things you can learn. You can learn how to cook, you can learn a trade. There are many things you can occupy yourself with at home. So we try to encourage them to get into those activities rather than just sitting at home and lingering around and then giving boys opportunities to talk to them and begin to propose sex to them and stuff.
But you tell them what is sex.
We tell them what
and
is
then
sex.
if you involve in it,
We tell them about menstruation, we tell them about safe periods, unsafe periods, how to prevent sex. We give them all the education, but then we give them like personal counseling too.
all right. Now I want us to watch this report. We did a report on cases of baby dumping in the Cameroon, let's say Douala, Yaoundé, and other parts of the country. Let's watch this report. We'll be right back. To physical elimination, then children in hospital. Many are known to abandon children in hospitals, dump in trash cans, pit toilets, gutters, bushes, while others proceed to physical elimination. In Cameroon, no single day passes by without the discovery of abandoned newborns or fetus in trash cans on the streets. The disturbing problem attracts a curious population who cannot hide but vents their anger on the mothers whom they say must pay for the criminal act. Unfortunately, such mothers go free, as in most cases, they are nowhere to be found. Met in a Bolowa immediately after delivery. His mother took pretext of going to ease herself and had to vanish through the back door. These women recount. She told us she was going to ease herself. She went with a little girl. She even looked suspicious. She came to deliver without dresses for the baby. A woman had to give her dresses to wear on her baby. We even asked her if she had a mother, and she said yes, but that she was living with a man. She left a Bible as if to tell the baby, God is his only comfort. In Yaoundé, Cameroon's economic city, the discovery of this baby is still shocking to nearby inhabitants. He was discovered in this bush, tied up in a bag and covered by his own pool of blood. Quite shocking, but it's a reality. That's what we observe on the streets, markets, I mean, in society, everywhere we go, we find babies who have been dumped here and there, and it's quite disturbing. It's a disturbing issue. Now we have a barrister, Fomkong Elizabeth, who has just joined us here in the studio. She is a barrister at law. She is a regular face on the program, and she's here to tell us what the law is saying about baby dumping. Barrister, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, how do you do today?
Well, fine, thank you.
I can see that on you. Now, the first question I want to ask you, after we're talking about baby dumping. Now,
Yes.
how do you feel you talk about the issue?
I'm indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at, on one side, I will be, let me say, I won't say it's a very bad thing, and I will say it's a good thing, because I'm indifferent. If you look at the reasons why they dump the children, you might think the girls they have a reason for doing that. And when you look at the other side of it, you realize it is bad. Yes, because they don't want to kill the child. They want somebody to pick the child. That's why they don't throw the children.
In some
very
cases,
far.
they do kill the babies before they dump somewhere.
Those that kill, that one is a different case. But the ones that go to the hospital and then run away without the child, leaving behind the child, it means they didn't want to kill the child.
And then what about those who dump the baby somewhere in the toilet and the baby still survives? Dumped it just beside the road
Dumping
there.
is dumping. Dumping is dumping. We will not say this one dumping.
Isn't another way of killing the child if this kind of a child, you're not killing the child?
If you look at those that had the opportunity or had monies to go to the hospital, they will abandon the children in the hospital. Those that didn't have monies, they will go back to the nearby bushes or somewhere to deliver in a hiding, and then finally they dump the child there. And then another level, you have those that will even keep the children to a certain level, and when they find out that they can't even feed themselves and feed the child, they don't want to see their own child dying. They prefer to give it to somebody else. They go and put it where somebody will collect. And then there's another group of dumping that you will not think is dumping. When you're unable to take care of the child, you take them to the village and give to your parents to bring up. That's another kind of dumping.
But which one is more preferable? To take the children to the village, right? And keep rather than dump the baby somewhere on, discard of the baby in the pit toilet, on the streets.
Well, which one is better? If there was one that
Going
was,
to give the children
if
to
there
your
was one that
parents.
was bad, then the lawmakers could have actually added that as a topic or as an article in the penal code, baby dumping. But there's no article attached to baby dumping. Yes, we have abortion, we have other things, but baby dumping, there is no article for punishment for that. But I think if the government is actually social to the children, because what causes baby dumping? Look at the causes of it. You have one, social and cultural, and they're mostly teenage girls. If you teach a child religiously that pre-sex is a bad thing, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this, make a child go to church, and then they'll tell you you can only have sex when you get married. You're bringing up that child in a godly way. She will know that she doesn't need to go for sex, and so she will not even come with a child at home. And then you look at the other case of the kind of friends she makes. If she has this wayward kind of friends, she wants to discover. And so what happens? She comes back with an unwanted pregnancy. Then when you look at the government policy, they keep on shouting every day. There is AIDS, there is this, opportunity diseases, condom, everything. And your child comes home pregnant. It means the child was not even listening to the radio. Or what happened? Because she can go in for sex, comes out with pregnancy, unwanted, and even the AIDS combined. So how did she manage? She has not been listening to the radio. You look at the TV programs, media. What did they show their children at home? When they watch the television, they see these things. So when you tell a child that thing is bad, she wants to try what she's saying on the media. So the media is there to destroy our
So who are
children.
you blaming?
I'm blaming everybody. I'm trying to give you all the evils that are making.
That's what I'm asking.
the
That
real
who are you
cause.
blaming? Are you blaming the parents at home? Are you blaming society? Are you blaming government for not putting in place laws that could, scare
time-
young girls not to
By
dump their
the
baby
time
just anyhow?
I finish. You will now try to.
All right.
group
Maybe
the
I'll
one that
allow
will
you
go
to
for the
finish.
Parents.
All right.
Okay. You have broken homes. Who talks to a girl child? At a certain age, you need to tell your child, this is bad, this is good. There's nobody to talk to the girl. She's actually abandoned to herself, and she discovered life the way she discovers it. Then you also have the case of a rapist. And that's good that the rape case has been taken care of by the penal code. If you have a pregnancy as a result of rape, the government actually comes to play and says, Article 339, that child can be aborted. That's when abortion is allowed. Yes. And then you have the case of the girl child, let me see, how do you even put it? Where she can actually be exposed, and then she comes out with unwanted pregnancy. There's so many cases, with a teenage girl. Then when you see the older ones, how will she come in with a pregnancy that she doesn't want? Is it poverty? For economic reasons, a prostitute that becomes pregnant and doesn't want to keep the pregnancy because it's going to have an effect on her business? Then she has to dump the child also. So you see, there are many things that comes into play, but the individual first, we'll start with the individuals, we'll blame them first for being exposed. Like if you talk about a girl from 14 to 18 years, she will say she doesn't have a consent, but it doesn't mean she can't commit a crime, because when you look at Article 74 of the Penal Code, criminal responsibility, she is actually responsible for her crime, even though it will be diminished. Not like somebody above 18. Above 18, you're an adult. So anything committed by somebody above 18, it's a crime. And the law actually frowns at it. Then you also...
So if you are below 16, I don't want to credit shop, we're talking about the law here.
Yes.
So below 16, you can go
14.
Free?
14. No, you will not go free. But you'll be treated as a juvenile delinquency, that kind of a thing, because you are actually a minor. We'll consider you without consent. You don't know exactly what you are doing. But when you get to 18 years, you're an adult. We don't play with that. So they'll all go to prison, but they have the way they treat them there. They will not actually put
the different fine sanctions.
Yes, they will not actually mix up somebody who is less 18 years with somebody who is 18 years at the time of committing that crime. So it's different. And then when you talk of dumping, the child was picked. The child is still alive. And sometimes they actually get hold of the mother and they restitute the child back to the mother to take care of. That the law hasn't given any sanction for that. But if the child dies, then that's mother.
In a case where you find this child, maybe because you can actually go to the hospital, do autopsy and the rest, and discover that the child was put to bed, the child was alive, and the mother actually killed the child before dumping the child somewhere. That's mother. And most of these mothers, you don't find, they are nowhere to be found. And then secondly, we've observed from the reports we do daily, we discovered that there are so many women, young girls who dump babies anyway, and most often they are not punished. Now, I wanted to make it clear, does the law sanction people, or women especially, because they are done by women, who dump babies, who kill babies, or even they don't kill babies and dump them somewhere, be in toilets, in garbage, anywhere on the streets?
If you look at the Convention of the Right of a Child, that's United Nations 1989, talks about the protection of the child. And under the protection of the child, dumping will come under it. I think it is actually a crime. But my bet now is, if the child dies, that's mother, because it was intentionally done. Then you invoke Section 74 of criminal responsibility, where you have actually the pregnancy was there. You decide to kill the child. You knew what you were doing. So you had all knowledge to know what you were doing actually was aimed at killing that child. Then you go in for murder.
Even if the child survives?
If the child survives,
the fact that they had the act of killing or disposing of the child is still a problem.
Let's take, for instance, you find a child with fingernails trying to strangulate the child, and then the child survives. That's an attempt, and that's manslaughter. So the law can actually, but who takes them to court? Nobody. I've not seen any case in court.
That's just a question I wanted to ask you. That have you had any case you've handled?
No, I've not
Or
handled
in court to
any
talk
case.
about this baby dumping? A woman was taken to prison, or she was charged because she had
Maybe
to dump the baby.
somewhere in Cameroon it has
In
happened.
Cameroon, we don't
it
have.
might be it has happened, but I've not seen a case of that nature. But on abortion, I think
And which means that these women, they do it and then they escape into teenage and nobody can get hold of them.
well, if I had that opportunity as a policeman, I would actually tell you what happens to them. But I'm only a lawyer, so I'm just on the part of the law, what the law says about it.
Now, according to you, what should be done
On what?
to stop the practice?
To stop the practice.
Because it's inhuman. It's a criminal act. Is it that government
You're
needs?
asking my
I'm asking
opinion?
you the question, yes,
If you
because
ask
it's
my
like
opinion.
the law does not like the law is limited.
Yes.
The law is
Okay.
limited.
If-
I'll have this growing phenomenon.
Yeah.
Now, what do we do?
Okay. There are some measures that the state has to take. You have to create more centers to educate these girls and to take care of them. And then you also have to be a bit liberal with the adoption law. Because if that law was liberal, then more women or the girls will not throw the children. They'll bring the child to the center so they can be adopted. And then you find the orphanage, if they can open their doors. I'm sure some of these girls, it was a mistake and they don't want to abort because they're afraid of abortion or religiously it is bad. They have to deliver, but they can't take care of the kids. If there were people to help them out, they will. They will continue with their children. Some of them don't really want to do what they are doing. And then some parents are too harsh that if you hear your child is pregnant, it's like you kill the girl or your statute, they'll look at you as you can't actually raise your own child or it's a disgrace. So that kind of pressure on a girl child, she ends up doing what is bad. She ends up dumping to cover that social statute of the parents. Yes.
Now, I want to come back to you, Cecilia. What's the role of the social center in baby dumping? Now, what do you do?
Okay, maybe I should start by, if you
Yeah, by
permit
barrister,
me,
yeah.
what the barrister just said about how to stop the practice. She talked of increasing this number of centers in the whole country. Say, yeah. But I want to say that it's not just increasing the center; it's sensitizing the population.
So you think the problem starts
Yes,
in homes?
of course.
On the importance of the centers.
No, first of all, we need to look at how these children are being raised before they become adult, and start mixing up with boys and ending up with pregnancy. I think child parenting is a dual. It's not meant for one group. Like say just the parents, everybody is involved. The community, the state, and the parents first. The sexuality begins at home. So if everybody is playing his or her role, then we should expect some positive results. The government, if I should talk on behalf of the government, they are out to provide centers. There are many of such centers, but how many people are aware of those centers? All people know about social welfare is where they take men who cannot raise their children, who cannot take care of their children. They are not aware of the
So
fact
mostly
that they have
single mothers
other
visit your
services, and
centers.
mostly mothers take their husbands to social welfare. I think the society believe, girls don't know they should, or parents don't know if they have a delinquent child, they need to send that child for counseling, or before people even get married, you need to go for pre-marital counseling. All those services are being put in place, but they are not aware. They are not informed. The community is not informed of the various services that are being offered there. They believe that centers, I should tell you, there is social action centers in Douala. Just in Douala, we have 56 of them. So they are dotted all over the place. But since people don't know they are important, they don't go for
It's not
And
that,
if
let me just say something. It's not that we don't know the importance, but I believe it's a toothless dog. I take my case to social welfare. Take, for instance, a girl is pregnant and the boy who is responsible doesn't want to take care of her. She comes to the social welfare and reports this boy. A complaint is laid against the boy. What do you do for this boy to take care of her?
actually, you rightly said it toothless below, but I believe that before it gets to the point of you running helter-skelter for a boy to take care of, I think you need some social education. Your children need to be counseled. They need to have a foundation on how to go about the society. How come your children are mixing up at the tender age? At the age of 14, they're already talking about boyfriends, having a friend, because it's a common phenomenon. If you come around this community, our society, especially in the littoral, there's no child or a girl child without mom, pity, and me. What is the meaning of that? These people end up, they don't only mix outside, they go beyond just mixing up around.
All right. Now, how often do you have cases of babies being brought to your center?
Yeah, it depends also the
environment.
Because
let me just ask something. If a girl comes there with a baby, or she's still pregnant, says this pregnancy, there's nobody responsible for the pregnancy. What do you put? Do you help her?
Actually, we don't let her go because most of the times we're afraid of suicide.
Okay.
Either the girl can kill herself and kill the baby. So there are many procedures you can
help her.
Yes, to
now
help
what do you
her.
do?
Actually, if a girl comes with a child, first of all,
she's still pregnant.
Still pregnant. Well, it's a bit difficult, but what I just have an idea that I shared with one colleague of what we can do to bring up or write project on raising surrogate mothers, women who will be placed in a family setting, and such girls who come around. When we will make sure we follow up those girls and they give birth. And they leave the children and go away. So I believe that if the
government centers is it existing?
It's just
because I've seen it in South Africa.
Of course,
that's the center I wanted you to talk about.
Yes, actually, what we have is a skeleton, and we need to beef up.
But it's delayed in Cameroon. We don't have that.
Well, everything is delayed in Cameroon, and I believe that with time. If we as individuals will take upon ourselves to do something to please or to help the society as an individual, I think we are working towards a good footing. These girls are frustrated. If a girl, the fact that she becomes pregnant, she never knew she will be pregnant. And most of the boys...
But she got pregnant.
She's pregnant.
She was an adventure.
And it's, as we said, charity begins at home. What type of education?
They don't have homes.
So, Barrister said something, we don't raise our children in the fear of the Lord. I believe that that's a very good foundation. But how many of them...
We just saw a woman who left the Bible beside the baby.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's her own mindset.
So you think those who are brought up in the religious way don't do that?
No, of course they do. They
are
pastors' children. That's what you might...
Maybe keeping the Bible beside the child meant she was pregnant by the pastor. So let that child continue to read the Bible.
Now let's try. We are trying to look at. I want us to talk about these social centers. Now, when you receive these babies, what do you do?
Okay, the first thing you have to do, if there is no identification on the pertaining to, say, the mother of the child, you don't know the mother of the child, you first of all take photographs of the state of the child at that moment. Then you make calls. You have to inform your hierarchy on
Barrister, just hold it. Yeah.
You have to inform your hierarchy on on the situation at hand. Then you proceed. You have to secure this child. How do you secure the child? You take the child to the hospital. If the child was found naked, you look for clothing
for the baby.
You clothe the child.
Do you try to look for the mother?
at that point in time, you
Save the baby
are
first.
not supposed to bother about who
the mother
owns the
is.
child. Yes, struggle and look for a way to save that child.
Now
To the
who's
hospital.
responsible then? Is it the social center that does all
Social-
those
Yes.
things? You pay for those
Yeah, they
services, you take the child to hospital, the bill is on you.
Yes,
And then the baby stays with you.
no, the baby has to stay in the hospital because you don't know the situation.
For how
of the
many
baby.
days?
Well,
If the baby is not sick, if the baby is
if the
healthy.
baby is healthy, the
Orphanage.
next place is to the commissariat for enquiries. They will look for you, and you.
But the baby
look
does
for a
not
way-
sleep in the police station.
At
Orphanage.
the police station is just to come out with a procès verbal d'abandon. Let me say it in French. And this is done because you need to know actually whether that child is abandoned. So what they do is they send out the police for enquiries around to make findings and see action. You take action, immediate action to find out if there is any trace of the mother, because that child needs the mother. So they'll look for a way to locate the mother. If it's
If it's difficult, if it's futile, then
that
the next
child
thing.
becomes a pipi de l'état, as they'll say, the child state, because they are unable to trace the mother. So you now go to the divisional delegation. That's where they'll write a note for that child to be placed in an orphanage. So any other proceedings,
Now
if
you look for the orphanage,
you look for the orphanage.
for any orphanage,
I think in collaboration with your
Social.
chief.
with the social,
The
with
de-
the delegate or the
delegate,
social affairs.
No, generally, there is a divisional delegate, there is a regional delegate. So the three work together to come up with the best place to
Now,
place the
all
child.
right, Barrister, talk about.
And- And that placement is supposed to be temporary because children of that caliber should be sent to Kayed. Kayed is a structure still under the Ministry of Social Affairs where children are being abandoned. It's from there that they can be adopted.
All right.
So if there is any procedure
All right,
for
yeah,
adoption,
I want to talk about this adoption. Dr. Barrister said something about the procedure. Now, what is it like? You
She
talk
can-
of cumbersome procedure at the
She
beginning.
she
Now, I
can
want you
tell
to talk first, she'll talk. I want you to talk.
I will know the one in court, but she will tell you how to get
All
to
right.
the court.
Okay. We have simple adoption and plenary adoption. The simple adoption is the one that's been arranged between families that you decide to take care of a child under your lineage. You assume all responsibilities of that child, but the child can still bear the family name and stuff, but you are the one taking care of the child.
All right.
And that child also has equal right like your own children can inherit. But the plenary adoption now concerns those children that have been abandoned, that they call pipi de l'état. I don't know how I can translate it. Pipi de l'état, they become state children. So for them to be adopted, you must pass through the social center, deposit the necessary requirements, and from there they are being forwarded. From the social center, it's a long process to the divisional delegation, to the regional delegation, to the ministry, and down to the court. Because the final declarations are being made at the level of court. Then the documents now will be transferred to the ministry, from the court to the ministry. Then
It's quite a
the
cumbersome
author-
procedure.
Very
Now,
cumbersome. She
that's
said
what-
it, and you saw me nodding my head because it's really cumbersome. I just received a lady who has adopted a child, but she forwarded her application some 4 years back, and can you imagine? She's been issued the authorization to have that child.
It took her 4 years.
4 years.
Now, Barrister, in
When
this
there are
situation-
many children where they are, from what
Looking
she
for
told me,
people.
yes, from what
Alright.
she told me, the child was
Suffering.
weak, almost dying. That the lady begged her that please take this child, if not this child will die. So why are they keeping these children when there are many people who want to adopt them?
And that's just
and
the
they are
question,
willing
that's
to
just the
give the
burning-
best.
And there are many people
That,
who want to
that
deliver.
is just the burning question that one really asks barrister, that what is really happening? Why is that
you
it's so
sure about
difficult for
No,
people
it
to
is the
adopt
administration
children?
that makes it difficult. It's not the courts.
It's not the court.
Yes,
How?
once your documents are...
Can you explain it? How?
No, what she just told us.
Yes, she has
move from
explained. Now,
divisional to provincial to the ministry, from one table to another. By the time you get to the minister, and then it comes down for you to go to the court is not the problem.
So again, it's administration.
It's administration problem. Yes,
No, at what level is it tight?
the ministry.
What
From the
happens? At,
social. That if, let me see, she has just explained to you the measures they have to take from one table to another. That's why it's tight. But if it was like, if you accept and sign some documents, we now take it to the court, that will be very fast.
Very fast.
Yes.
All right, we are running out of time. I wanted to give you last words or a message to women and young girls. We're talking about this dumping aspect, the dumping of babies. Barrister, start with your Edo Cecilia.
I think the young girls don't actually know the crime they are committing, because if they knew there was criminal and a criminal action, they will not go for it. They will take all precaution to avoid unwanted pregnancy. I will only advise my children and sisters to be very careful with whatever they do, and they should take care of their children, because what we are doing today, our children have all been abandoned to themselves. We are no more at home. We are looking for money. But at the end of the day, we don't have children at home. So we should give some time to our children. We should educate them and try to show them that we are there to give them love and protection.
Yes, Cecilia.
Yes, I believe that we should wipe out the idea of being closed up, a traditional way of living. We are moving to the modern, to a more modern society where everything is, if you want to hide in the toilet, the social media will put you out. So don't think that by hiding your pregnancy or dumping a child will wipe out the fact that you've had a child. It's a moral crime, and it will run you. Your conscience will never let you be. So I believe that the social center, we have many ways we can help. They should come to the social centers and tender their problems. If you know you cannot take, you've gotten pregnant by a boy and the boy has abandoned you, come to the social center and see what we can do to help. We have many. We are working out measures that I think will be better off in future. Like bringing up surrogate mothers.
All right. Now, I want to thank you, Barrister, for honoring the invitation. You're always there. When I give you a ring to participate on the program, you're always here. I want to say a big thank you to you. Also want to say thank you for Cecilia. She's always here on the program to tell us and educate women, because so many women are ignorant of the law. They don't know their rights. I also want to thank Clarice Ndinge. She was also here. She's a founder of a Better Girl organization. And to you out there, we say thank you for watching. We want to read your reactions, and next time, at the program, we'll be rebroadcast tomorrow, Thursday. Thanks for watching again. Same time, another edition.